Greetings, Guardians of Dominion. Zeus here with another electrifying video. Today, we're diving into Huus once again, but this time, it's all about team synergy. After testing countless lineups, one thing is clear: Huus is more than just a healer. He's a powerhouse in physical teams, especially when paired with critical hit heroes. From tanks to damage dealers and support, Huus makes them all better. In this video, I'll show you the top team combos that truly let Huus shine. If you're playing Hero Wars Alliance on Android, now's your chance to save big with Huawei's app gallery. For a limited time, you can get up to 25% off the Golden Pass and receive 15% back in Huawei Points on every purchase, every day. This special campaign runs from June 9th to July 15th, 2025, so act quickly. Just click the link in the description and download the game through App Gallery. Your game progress is completely safe. Simply link your Google or App Gallery account, and you'll pick up right where you left off. Make sure your device country settings are supported, including Austria, Belgium, France, Germany, Italy, Ireland, Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Switzerland, Spain, Turkey, Ukraine, United Kingdom, and more. Don't miss these exclusive rewards. Tap the link and power up your Hero Wars Alliance journey today. The first team is Kayla, Yasmine, Guus, Tempus, and Aidan. This lineup features two of the most explosive physical damage dealers in the entire game, Kayla and Yasmine. Both heroes rely heavily on critical hit chance, and that's where Huus takes things to the next level. His feathers not only boost critical hit chance, but also amplify overall physical damage across the team. But Huus isn't just a buffer, he's a powerful healer. His strength lies in spreading feathers and supporting the entire team. However, since he stands in the middle, he's often vulnerable to enemy attacks. That's why it's essential to protect both Huus and the front line. Aidan steps in as the perfect answer. One of the best healers in the game, positioned safely in the backline, Aidan brings extra healing support to keep the team alive. With Huus and Aidan working together, you've got two super healers, so there's no shortage of sustain. Still, the team lacks one thing: control. And that's where Tempus becomes essential. Tempus freezes time, slowing down enemy movement and interrupting their skills. This control is crucial, especially since Kayla and Yasmine often dive deep into the enemy formation. That can leave Huus, Aidan, and Tempus exposed in the back. But with Tempus locking down the enemy team, Huus has the breathing room to distribute his feathers, boosting Kayla and Yasmine even further. Their critical hit chances go up, their damage skyrockets, and the healing from both Huus and Aidan keeps them going through the toughest fights. It's a fast, aggressive, and well-balanced offensive team, built around synergy, critical strikes, and momentum. Now let's move on to the second team. At first glance, it looks almost identical: Kayla, Huus, Tempus, and Aidan remain, but this time, we swap Yasmine for Folio. And if you followed my previous videos, you already know what I'm about to say. Just because Huus boosts physical damage doesn't mean he can't work with magic damage dealers. The healing from Huus still applies to the entire team, and with Aidan in the backline, that sustain becomes even stronger. So, the question is, why replace a physical damage dealer like Yasmine with a mage like Folio? Wouldn't that make the team less effective? Actually, no. In our opinion, this swap makes the team even more dangerous. Let me explain why. In the first team, we relied entirely on two physical damage dealers. But in this variation, we have one physical, Kayla, and one magical, Folio. And Folio brings much more than just raw damage. His control abilities are what make this team so effective. His Ink clone is the perfect distraction, pulling enemy focus away from your actual team and onto the illusion. And it gets better. Folio has a skill that forces the entire enemy team to shift into a single middle line. This messes with their formation, disrupts their skill timing, and makes it harder for them to function properly. Now imagine that chaos, and combine it with Tempus. While the enemy team is being herded into one line, Tempus freezes them in time, stopping them from using their skills. Even if they do manage to activate something, it's probably wasted on Folio's ink clone. This gives Kayla the perfect opening. With the enemy team clumped up, confused, and focused on the wrong target, Kayla can deal massive damage, all while being protected and boosted by Huus feathers. Her physical damage and critical hit chance go up, Aidan provides extra healing, and before you know it, the enemy team collapses. And if that's not enough, Folio himself dives into the center with his inklot skill, amplifying the destruction. This duo, Kayla and Folio, backed by strong support, control, and healing, can erase teams in seconds. Now let's talk about a classic combo, the well-known structure of tank, support, healer, and 2 damage dealers. And in this case, it's not just classic, it's highly effective. At the front, we have Julius. In our opinion, he's one of the best tanks in Hero Wars Alliance. Not only does he provide strong protection with his powerful shield, but he also boosts the team's damage, and not just any kind of damage. He specifically enhances critical hits. That means this team now has 2 heroes increasing critical damage and physical attack, Julius and Huus. Right behind him, we place Dante, one of the most intense and versatile damage dealers. His arrows don't just deal damage, they push enemies back, breaking their formation and creating opportunities for disruption. While Dante doesn't naturally have critical hit chance in his base stats, with his first talisman, he gains it, and that's where the synergy begins. With Huus and Julius both boosting critical hits, Dante can now fully benefit from their support. In the middle, Huus acts like the conductor of an orchestra, managing everything from boosts to healing. His feathers constantly enhance critical hit chance and physical damage while providing steady healing to keep the team alive during long fights. Now let's talk about the backline. We add another damage dealer, Peech. Her power hits the front line of the enemy team hard, and when combined with Dante's and Julius's disruption, Peech can break down both the first and second rows of the enemy formation quickly. She's all about intense pressure and overwhelming physical damage. Supporting her is Octavia, our mirror guardian. Every time one of your allies dodges while her mirror is active, she reflects that energy back at the enemy. And that's not all, she also boosts armor penetration, which is perfect for Peech, since Peech has one of the highest armor penetration stats in Hero Wars Alliance. That's what makes her physical attacks so powerful and deadly, and now, with Huus boosting her even further, the effect is devastating. This team might not be as fast as the earlier ones we looked at, but it's incredibly well balanced. Huus takes the central role, connecting every piece of the formation. From tank to support, from damage dealers to healing, everything flows through Huus. That's what makes this combo not just strong, but consistent and accurate in battle. Now let's move on to the fourth combo, Oya, Qingmao, Huus, Lara, and Fafnir. This team is all about layered boosts from the front line to the back, with every hero playing a crucial role in both offense and support. We start with Oya. While technically a warrior, she could easily be considered a tank. She can absorb a ton of damage from the enemy while dishing it out just as hard. Oya focuses on controlling the front of the battlefield, keeping enemies at bay and creating space for her team. Right behind her is Qingmao, and she pairs perfectly with Oya. Qingmao steals armor from enemies, deals strong physical damage, and, most importantly, silences the front line. With both Oya and Qingmao in front, your team dominates the enemy's first and second lines from the very beginning. Then we've got Huus, once again in the center of it all. He's boosting physical and critical hit stats, throwing feathers to keep everyone healed, and making sure the entire team stays alive and empowered. And yes, we'll keep saying it, Guus is absolutely amazing when protected and allowed time to activate his skills. Once he's up and running, he becomes the engine of the entire team, healing, buffing, and reinforcing every hero around him. Behind Guus is Lara. While Oya and Ching Mao handle the front lines, Lara jumps into the back line of the enemy formation, dishing out physical and critical damage where it hurts the most. Her area of effect attacks not only damage multiple enemies but also stun them, and when she activates her ability that increases her critical hit chance for 8 seconds, her damage output skyrockets. And finally, we have Fafnir. He's the support that ties everything together. Fafnir boosts physical attack, stuns enemies with his blacksmith hammer, and forges a runic shield for one of his allies, granting extra protection. But he doesn't stop there. He also enchants that ally's weapon, increasing their damage potential even further for the next 8 seconds. This team feels like a perfectly synchronized machine. From the first hero to the last, everyone contributes. Everyone protects each other. Everyone is healed and massively buffed, not just by Guus, but by almost every member of the team. And at the center of it all is Guus, amplifying what each hero already does best. It's a team built on synergy, durability, and overwhelming buffs. If you're looking for a lineup that feels like one unstoppable force, this is it. And last but definitely not least, Galahad, Oya, Tristan, Guus, and Polaris. I have to say, this is one of my personal favorites. It's fast, it's aggressive, and it brings damage from front to back like a storm. Let's start with Galahad. He finally feels alive again, and honestly, Guus is the reason. With Guus boosting physical attack and critical hit chance, especially for frontline allies, Galahad transforms into a true beast. And thanks to Guus' feathers, every time Galahad takes damage, he gets a layer of protection and healing, allowing him to stay in the fight and strike harder. Then comes Tristan. He's the perfect partner for Galahad, because he also increases the physical attack of frontline allies. So now, Galahad, Oya, and Tristan, all in the front, are not just dealing high damage. They're dealing massive critical hits. Guus is in the center, keeping all three healed, protected, and fully buffed. Galahad's swords cut through the entire enemy team like a wave. Oya and Tristan follow with their own heavy blows. This makes the team extremely fast in offense, so fast that sometimes the enemy barely gets to act. But why stop there? Right. Let's take it to the next level, with Polaris. Polaris brings an incredible stun that freezes enemy movement, right when your team is launching their full attack. Combine that with Tristan's stun, and the enemy is practically locked in place. And don't forget, Polaris increases the entire team's damage by 50%. That means Galahad, Oya, and Tristan, already pumped up by Guus, now hit even harder. The result? A team so fast and powerful, that by the time your opponents are finally ready to use their skills, they can't. Because the battle is already over. That's why I love this combo so much. Personally, I enjoy fast teams with strong protection, and that's exactly what Guus and Polaris deliver. Guus with the healing, the critical and physical boosts. And Polaris with the control and massive damage increase. Together, they make this team not only deadly but also incredibly efficient. These are just a few of the teams that stood out the most during our testing. But honestly, Guus has so much synergy with physical-based teams, we could talk about combinations for hours. He's a game-changing hero, not because he carries alone, but because he brings out the best in everyone around him. And there you have it, Guardians, Some of the most powerful and exciting team combinations built around Huus. From full-out critical hit teams to balanced setups with healers, tanks, and control, Huus proves he's not just a healer, but a game-changing support that can elevate your entire squad. Now I want to hear from you, which of these teams stood out the most to you? Have you tried Huus in your lineup yet, or do you have your own favorite combo we should test next? Let me know in the comments below. I'm always reading and replying when I can. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, make sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, so you don't miss any of our upcoming deep dives and strategy guides. Together, we're getting stronger with every battle. Stay curious, stay sharp, and as always, salute and friendship.